Hey, what's up? It's Martin, and today we have quite a different video. We have how to mix beats. It's something that you wouldn't really expect from me, I guess, because it's not what I mainly focus on, which is like how to make beats itself. But yesterday I was on a Discord server and someone asked like, "Hey, can I get tips on mixing beats?" So I thought, whoa, this may be helpful. I asked like, I could make a video on this, and they said, yeah, that would be good. So that's what I'm doing today. Let me show you a few things, how the beat sounds mixed and how the beat sounds unmixed. This FLP won't be available on Patreon because it's a beat that I made to send out and not really for a tutorial. And I used a beat like this specifically because, I wanted to have as much tracks as I could to mix. And I'm forgetting stuff. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be using as many stock VSTs as I can and as many native VSTs as I can, so you don't have to go out there and buy VSTs that you really shouldn't have to. And something that you need to know is that no mixing tutorial will be the holy grail. You need to know what you're doing, and you need to know how the musical equipment you're using works. You cannot really get, you can get places without knowing shit about the software you're using, but it will be much easier learning how to mix and stuff, knowing what the plugins you're using do. So having that said, let's just move on to showing how the beat unmixed sounds and how the beat mixed sounds. The beat mixed sounds like this. Let me just put it in here. Sounds a bit like this. Kind of good, the mix, it's not the best I've done, but it's quite a good mix, I'd say. Doesn't sound bad. So let's just move on with the actual beat we're dealing with now. So this is how it sounds. That's quite different, right? So let's just begin mixing. So we're going to be using a technique that's called gain staging. So pretty much what gain staging does or consists of is pretty much leveling every channel to a certain degree, and then I'm gonna explain it first. Let me mute these channels because they're making me go insane. So basically you have to put all your tracks to a certain headroom level, which usually is minus 12 decibels, and then when all your tracks are put down to minus 12 decibels per se, what you have to do is start leveling them from them, so you have much more headroom that you would usually do, and then you basically turn up the gain on your not master but on the final current channel. So basically what you do is you get a lot of headroom to properly mix, and it's quite different, but I'm not really good at explaining how it really works, but let me just show it first. So basically what we're going to do is pretty much mix every channel by itself. So the first thing we gotta do is we gotta go into the master channel and turn the gain all the way up to 125%. You may be wondering, why are you doing that? I'll explain it later. It's not going to be still like that. That's just this part of the mixing. So once we turn our master all the way up, we go to the first track we can find, which is this guitar we can find. I'm pretty sure this guitar was exported, so it should be this one. So this is how it sounds. So the first thing we can hear is that this guitar has quite a bunch of bass, that's regular and like an electric guitar playing in this octave. So something we're going to do is take out the muddy frequencies, the frequencies that we don't want. Why we don't want them? Because it takes away presence from our 808s and our drums by itself. Just hear this. Where's my... All these frequencies right here are clashing with my 808 that needs these frequencies right here It needs them because, you know, an 808 is a percussive sound. You know, it's part of your drums, an 808. Some people, they exclude the 808 from the drums. They say the drums and the 808. But you should always see your 808 as part of your drums. It's a basic part of your drums. And since it's a very bassy sound, you need to have that range of frequencies dedicated to your 808. So basically, we're just gonna go here, 20 hertz to 18 kilohertz cut. Hear the difference? The 808 can fit in much more comfortably, you know, and it's not having much issue. As you can see right here, my master is clipping. That's regular because it's turned all the way up. So we're just gonna turn this down to 12 decibels. That should be right. That's 12 decibels. Actually, you need to consider the peak, and the peak it's almost 12 decibels. So we're gonna move on with the second channel. We have to do this with every single channel. We have to take them to 12 decibels. Yeah. There's no way we're getting there with this channel, but it will work the same way, you know, don't worry. That's 12 decibels. If you cannot get to 12 decibels, turn the volume all the way up you can before 12 decibels, pretty much. Yeah, that should be good. So right now you can start mixing your actual melody. I have this bus here which effects I added on, so I can automate the whole melody, but you shouldn't pay attention to that. It's just creative effects. So we first have this, which is this kind of weird lead we have. We're just gonna put an EQ here, and as you can see, this sound doesn't really need to be EQ'd. Why? Because there's no frequencies that are like clashing or that are going to be occupied by something else. So we can just leave the sound as it is. We just need leveling. In this case, if we open an EQ as well, we'll see the same, you know. There's no real frequencies that need to be EQ'd or that are like annoying. This is going to be a texture, so we're really going to have this in the background. I really do want to take some, if you listen to this really high on headphones, you'll see some sort of like, you'll hear some white noise in the background. That's this, right there. So we're just going to take that out. But it kind of murders the sound, you know, it takes away the analog kind of sounding, you know. Nonetheless, we can actually take some of the annoying lows out, and it will give us a more clear sound. This is okay as well. We're just going to add some corrective EQ to take this out. That should be alright. Same here, I EQ'd this myself, but I still want to take some annoying frequencies out of the way. So basically what I'm doing right here is taking away frequencies that are like annoying, you know, to my ear at least. You know, this is my personal opinion. There's no perfect way to mix. This piano is okay. This, I think it's okay too. It may have some low end here. Yeah. With doing this, we're just giving room to the bass sounds, to the sounds that occupy the bass range. Why am I doing this? Because then you have an 808 and a acoustic bass that need to fit in those rooms. It's like you have 6 melodies per se, and they're all in this same range in this frequency range, from 200 to 2K. What's going to happen is that they're all going to clash with themselves, so it won't really sound good. You'll have an issue that you will be really able to distinguish every melody from itself. The problem there will be that every melody will sound not glued together. It will just sound awkwardly together, we could say. And you don't want that. You want to be able to distinguish every melody, so you accomplish that by properly mixing. We already EQ'd this, sorry. And we actually need to EQ this. I'm gonna take away some of this. And finally we got this. There's so much stuff to talk about this noise. If you hear this without mixing, this is obnoxious. So yeah, I literally murdered that sound with Filter Freak. So first things first, EQ it, please. Take all the annoying low end out, because it sounds like ass. And I'll take that out. That was added after the radiator and stuff. And now we got this sounds that's coming in here. This is another bass that comes in an octave higher. I'm gonna take the low end out so it doesn't clash with this bass right here. And we got this ARP here. So yeah, I'm gonna take the low end out. So the whole melody together without actually leveling sounds like this. So now we just need to level. First things first, we're gonna start by the main track, which is this guitar. And let me put this in a mixer track because it's annoying me. There we go. So this is just by ear, you have to imagine all your tracks at the same level and then mix them. What needs to be higher, just think about this way. What needs to be higher or more predominant, I don't think that's a word. Turn it up. What doesn't and what needs to be in the background, turn it down. That's literally the secret. You don't care about this meter right here. You don't care about the graph. You just mix by ear. You don't need the colors right there. You have your ears. And that's what you have to care about. You have a boometer right here, but that's not important right now. You need to be confident enough in your ear. This is like a literal background melody. It doesn't need to be that up. Something that can help is mixing every track by itself or leveling it by itself and then turning up the ones that you have already mixed. Yeah, let's go super down. That's so annoying. Like that. That's a good level, actually. Same here. This texture needs to be super done as well. Here we go. And then we got this lead as well that we need to mix. So that's way too up. You didn't want to hear that much of that bass. It's still way too up. So that's pretty much our melody balanced right here. So let's move on with the drums. This is an advice I'll give you. If you want your drums to sound louder, you want your 808 to sound louder, you want the kick to sound louder, you don't make the kick or the 808 louder. And that's something you need to get in your head. If you want your 808 to be louder, you don't make your 808 louder. You make everything else quieter. And then you turn up the gain. So this is all by ear, you know? So right now I'm mixing all the sounds, you know, all the sound effects. So right now, as I said before, you know, our master is turned all the way up. We need to reset it. It sounds a lot quieter, right? Why is this? That gave us headroom to mix. So now we have this final part where we have to pretty much adjust the errors that we have left. So this is way too loud still. And this as well. I think this is a good volume for everything. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go on the master and we're going to grab 3D Multivan Compressor. You can use any Multivan Compressor for this. I'm just using this one because I have this preset already here. So yeah, mastering 6 decibels. And you just adjust the gain as you want. So this is not a good practice, but if you want to get the clipping sound, on the 808, you just grab a soft clipper, threshold all the way down, post gain all the way up, pretty much. And you do this. So basically what you're doing is you're turning the threshold all the way down. So basically, like, what a soft clipper does is the same that a limiter does. It's the same. A hard clipper, if we grab Paint right now, let me open Paint. So capturar ventana, and this is Paint right here. Okay. So what a soft clipper does is when you have a wave like this, let's put it this way. This is your mixer. This is green, yellow, and red in terms of volume. You have a wave that goes like this, and then it does this. Let's say this is your 808, That's your 808 right there. This triangle right here, that's your 808. As you see, it surpassed the red line, which is 0 decibels right here, So what a hard clipper would do is actually, it would come here. I cannot find my mouse. There we go. It would just do this. A hard clipper, what would do is just make this hard clip, and hard clip is this, and that's it. That's what a hard clipper does. So pretty much what a soft clipper does is like cutting it on a like cute way per se, like this, so it doesn't sound so sharp and so awful. Basically what it does, if I'm not wrong, I can be wrong, is doing this. It cuts it before it gets to 0 dB. So basically what it does, it's like making it like less sharp when it cuts it down. So that's how it works. So basically what we're doing is telling it, like, okay, this is the limit where you have to cut, and that limit is like super low. So basically you're going to lose gain by doing that. So you just add post gain. If you know how it works and what you're doing, you can use it. It's okay. Then we have EQ, because like we have a bunch of, as you can see, we have a bunch of stuff going on here. The first thing I advise you is to add this preset. I just leave it like that. It's the first thing in the chain. And then we will want to turn up a bit the like high end. More specifically, the frequencies of our hi-hats on our claps, because these are the two like drum elements that you also want to like be predominant, but you don't want to overdo it. Like in this degree, it's enough. You don't have to copy the EQ I'm doing. You just have to use your own ears and do it until it sounds good. You need your high end to like somehow be more shown in your mix. So that was pissing me off. The hi-hat is way too much. So yeah, that's it on how to mix and master maybe your beats. You shouldn't really master your beats because in like a professional environment, in like real studio environment, you won't master your beats because there will be like an audio engineer that will have the stems of your beats, and when the track is done, they will sit down and like mix the vocals and the beat, not mix, master. So some people say just level your beats and that's it, and then slap a soft clipper. I wouldn't really call it a day doing that. I actually like to mix my beats and master them so they actually sound good. You can always send an unmixed version of your beats, And when you send like track out version of your beats, you're pretty much sending an unmixed version of them, you know. So my best advice is to like don't overdo it. You don't need to have like this huge chain of like 7,000 compressors on your master and stuff. You should just keep it natural. And my best advice is just make your beat sound good. Don't make it like a master preset that you always use in all your beats. Don't make like an 808 mix preset. You just do it on every beat until it sounds good. You know, don't overdo music. And you just have to use your ears. Your ears are more important than the screen. With your ears, you can tell when something sounds wrong. You know, you can tell when something sounds off, and that's something that like the screen cannot do pretty much. So my best advice is use your ears. That's the most important thing. If you don't have an acoustically treated room, like in my case, stick with headphones to mix, because you know I have like some M audio monitors, but they have like the bass outtake on the back, so I cannot hear much bass, and it will make you hear some frequencies that are not there. You know, you'll hear basses that are not there. The hi-hats will sound way too loud and stuff, and the hi-end will sound like way too loud, and that's because your room is not acoustically treated. So yeah, the speakers do what they can do. And these are also like a pair of speakers that each speaker costs like $150. So you know, they're not like really high-end speakers. They're just like budget monitors. So my best advice is invest in some good headphones. I'm using DT 990s Pro by Bayer Dynamics. You can also get the DT 7070s, 770s, my bad. Those ones are closed back. These ones are open back. Open back, I can recommend open back for mixing, because you know, when you don't have a wall per se in your headphones, you have less frequencies that can clash and, you know, do weird stuff and reflectances. Close back are better for recording, because, you know, if I do this and now I start recording, or my recording, you'll probably hear the beat because there's no wall preventing the sound to go out from my headphones. Having said that, it's a almost 30-minute long video, so I'm sorry if it's too much. I just tried to get everything down. So I hope you liked it and it helped someone. So, well, see you in the next one.